Hello, I'm Anthony Gould, Group Editor-in-Chief of Incisive Media's Insurance Division. Post and professional broking magazines have launched a new editorial campaign, Investing in the Profession, which aims really to promote the adoption of professionalism by the general insurance industry, from insurers through to brokers, and even, dare I say, through to suppliers. Now clearly, sitting at the centre of the issue is the general insurance industry's professional qualifications body, the Chartered Insurance Institute. So I'm delighted to welcome to the studio today Chief Executive Sandy Scott. Hi, Sandy.
Hi, Ant.
So let's get straight on with the basics. Is the insurance industry a business or a profession? Or in other words, why do you think it needs to embrace professionalism?
Well, we all know about the economic environment that we find ourselves in. And I have a feeling, I'm afraid, that that situation is not one that is likely to change too quickly because of all of the issues this country, the UK in particular, has regarding debt. Secondly, we have a talent issue. We've always had a talent issue, and there are reasons why that talent issue exists. Thirdly, we have had the banking crisis that precipitated all of this, and that, whatever we would like to think, has had a knock-on effect on trust and confidence in the insurance sector. And that trust and confidence, of course, in a poor economic environment is dampening and constraining growth even more. So if we take all of those issues, it seems to me as the industry's professional body, we need to be thinking about what can we do to grow the market more than it otherwise would do in this environment. And that probably means what can we do to rebuild trust and confidence or enhance trust and confidence even further in the market today. And I think the professional strategy is the strategy to do that.
Okay, I mean, I think most traditionalists would agree that underwriting and claims sort of understand the need for it to embrace professionalism. That's often where the qualifications are. But in terms of the wider broking market, which is a major touch with the policyholders, I mean, is there any real benefits to brokers from embracing this professionalism agenda?
Well, funny you should say that, because while you're right to observe that underwriting, particularly underwriting, is fairly much a stronghold of qualifications, and that's just a part of professionalism, and to a certain extent in the claims environment, the people who are more committed to this than any part of the other part of the general insurance industry tend to be the insurance broking sector. You know, we have a lot of professional firms, most of them now chartered insurance brokers. You know their names: Perkins Slade, Thomas Carroll down in Cardiff, over in Northern Ireland, and then we've got Smart & Cook and Alec Finch and so on, and most recently Lockton's. So brokers, I think, understand more than anyone how being a profession would add value to the advice that they have to offer and help them price for value rather than compete on price. And by price for value, I mean charge in a way that any other profession does. So I think some brokers get it. I'm not saying they all get it, but brokers definitely get it, perhaps a little more than insurers. We need to get everybody to get it, and we need the broking profession in particular, where customers and clients use a professional where information asymmetry exists. So most customers don't know much about insurance and risk management. Brokers know lots. That's an asymmetric position. Customers should be able to, or should be prepared to pay their professional advisor significantly for the expertise they bring to that party. So that's why, again, professionalism, why now, and why in the brokering sector.
Okay, I mean, that's quite interesting, but I mean, one of the areas really I think involves brokers, especially in offering advice, is that of standards. I mean, the CII recently set up a special industry-wide task force to look at the whole issue of this. I mean, what's its aims and what does it hope to deliver?
All right, we've just talked about professionalism. Nice word. What is it? And that's what this task force has been focused on. what would professionalism mean? What would a package of professionalism, not just qualifications, but talking, as you say, about standards, standards of behaviour, ethical standards, standards of keeping up to date, for instance, what would a package like that look like in the general insurance sector? And I'm very pleased on that task force. I don't want to preempt what they're going to say. I know they're pretty much there, but they need to say it. Obviously, it's been led by Barry Smith, the CII president, and Chris Hanks, the deputy president from Fortis and Allianz, respectively. We've got London Market on there with Charles Phillips and Graham Millwater. We've got brokers on there, Alec Finch, Towergate, Amanda Blanc. We've also got the small practitioner panel, FSA small practitioner panel, represented by Simon Bolam, one-time very famous broker, still chairman of his firm up in Edinburgh, and so on. So a great cross-section of the general insurance sector. I should mention Eric Galbraith from BIBA, of course. Strong support for BIBA in all of this. Really important. So good cross-section, particularly involving brokers, and they will have, I think, a very significant announcement to make on what they think that package of professionalism looks like, probably in early March.
Okay, well, I certainly look forward to that. Why do you think that this whole professionalism agenda is sort of more relevant now than in the past? And sort of wearing a cynical hat, is it not just a way of selling more exams, or perhaps making it easier for the regulator to adopt a tick-box approach to regulation?
Well, I don't have much problem selling exams, so I don't really. That's not the reason. And I did talk about a package of professionalism, much more than just exams. Tick-box approach by the regulator? I don't think so. Exactly the opposite. I mentioned the environment and the banking crisis. There is always that danger now of regulatory creep or overspill. I think regulators recognise we're different. Government recognises we're different in general insurance. They say that. But when one looks at the structures in Europe that are being put in place and the unknown structure of the Bank of England and the new Consumer Protection Agency, and the balance of insurers versus bankers and others, will that actually happen in reality, i.e. will we be fully protected and recognised for the good things the sector does and the lack of problems it has caused? And I just have a slight concern that that might not be the case. And secondly, rather than constantly react to the regulator's tick-box approach, whether it's VAT this time, or approved persons, or TCF, or rather than always reacting to that, let's develop with BIBA, with the IIB, all the stakeholders, I think, an active approach, our own agenda, an industry-led solution. And that's what I see professionalism to be, an industry-led solution that says, look here, we're different, we have standards, here they are, now move on.
Sandy, thank you very much.
Well, thank you, Ant. Great pleasure.
Okay, well, that's all we have time for today. Thank you for watching.